Hey y'all, No here. Well, as you can see, I'm back home, or at least I'm back at my earthly home. I'm not at my real home. Now, I normally don't script anything that I put out on my videos, but this morning I felt like probably the best way to wrap up this final episode, the day I drove from Washington, D.C. all the way to my home in Tennessee, would be to just read to you the journal entry for yesterday that I wrote this morning because I was very tired when I got home yesterday. And I felt like I was a little more coherent this morning. So let me just read to you about what happened yesterday. So this actually happened on July 17th, which was yesterday now. And so it goes like this. There's not a lot to say. I left DC at 3:30 a.m. I chose the route that my friend Jason told me to choose. But even at 3:30 a.m., the streets of Washington weren't deserted. And once I got to the Beltway, that wasn't deserted either. And the cars were going 80 miles an hour and were pretty aggressive. But fortunately, not luckily, but fortunately, Google Maps put me in the toll lane on the expressway. And I didn't mind paying it a bit because it was 3:30 a.m. Nobody else was in that toll lane. I was the only one. And for some 30 miles, I had my own private interstate. And I didn't mind paying the toll for that privilege. Eventually, the toll lane ran out and had to rejoin the regular interstate. I think it was I-66, which runs to the west into Virginia. But by then the traffic wasn't as heavy and wasn't as fast. Eventually I connected with I-81 and started the journey south through the Blue Ridge Mountains. But they were enveloped in smoke that, just like me, had come all the way from Ontario. After about 10 hours of driving, I finally made it home. When I walked in the door, I walked into a spider web that a spider had built during the time of my absence. This trip was supposed to take 3 months, but it only took 1. I was supposed to explore the trails of the Rocky and Sawtooth Mountains, but I couldn't. I was supposed to meet other hikers and have honest conversations about eternity, but that happened only one time and not on a trail. Why? Why didn't it go the way it's planned? I know physically why. My heart could not supply enough oxygen to my brain. But why didn't God just overcome that? I know he could have, but why not? I don't know. And I made my peace with the fact that I probably will never know. But I know that God knows what he's doing. He knows things that I don't. He sees things that I can't. So I'm confident that I achieved everything on this trip God wanted me to, even though I have no idea what it actually was. But that doesn't matter, because what I do know is that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love him, to those who are called according to his purpose. Just like we said in episode 1, when we had our Bible study. And so It doesn't matter what I know or don't know. I know that God works all things together for good as long as I love Him and as long as I keep responding to the call that He has on my life. Now, something a little bit interesting has happened since I've gotten home. And if my body will cooperate, I can show you what it is. So, as you can see here, my oxygen saturation is 99% and my heart rate is 71. Or at least it was before I held my hand up. And that's about normal for me. And honestly, 99% is very, very good. So what is it about this place that makes my heart work better? I don't know. And what is it about when I was on the road that, my heart had to beat over 100 beats a minute to keep my oxygen saturation high enough? I don't know. It makes me wonder if there's something in the van that I'm allergic to somehow that is causing my body to have some kind of reaction. I don't know. So I'm going to continue to monitor it, both while I'm in the van and while I'm not. I can't explain it. I will eventually see a doctor if it looks like I need to. But I cannot explain to you why sitting in this chair, my heart seems to work very well. But while I was on this 6,000 mile trip, it didn't. God knows something that I don't know. And it doesn't matter as long as He knows it. I don't have to know it. As long as my heart is working correctly now and continues to, that's the important thing. Now, this is the last episode in this final road trip series. And so maybe you're wondering what's next. And there is something coming up in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to be returning to teaching Sunday school in August. So that's the next thing for me. It may or may not be the next thing for you. So I'm going to be teaching a whole new age group that I've never taught before. I've never taught anybody higher than the 3rd grade in my Sunday school classes in the past. So now I'm going to be teaching 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, which is an age group I've never taught before. I predominantly taught kindergartners my whole 21 years of teaching Sunday school. So the thing that's going to be next on the channel is that in my Sunday school class, I'm going to be teaching the Gospel of John and the book of Romans. How long will it take us to finish the Gospel of John and the book of Romans? I have no way of knowing. But I know it will take a long time, because we're going to do a verse-by-verse study, which is the right way to study Scripture. And so I know that, there will be more students joining the class as time goes on. It may take us a full 3 years to finish those 2 books of the Bible. And if it does, that's fine. Whatever it takes to do it the right way. But for the students that will be joining the class after we start it, I'm going to be putting my lessons on my channel so that they have a chance to catch up with the lessons that we've already covered. So if they join the class in the middle of the book of John, they can go back and review the classes that we've already taught if they're willing to put in the time to do it. But for you, that means that no matter where you see start the book of John and the book of Romans, it'll be there for you regardless of when you find it. So I'm looking forward to starting a new journey, a new age group of teaching students that I've never taught before. Am I excited about it? Yes, I am. Am I terrified about it? Maybe a little bit, as I should be, because as you know, pastors and teachers will be held to a higher standard. And so I hold myself to a higher standard because of that, and a higher level of humbleness because of that too, because I want to be completely dependent on the Lord to put the words in my mouth that I need to say, just like I'm dependent on Him right now, so that I get it right and don't make any mistakes. So this is the last episode in the final road trip. What's going to happen to the No-No Mobile? Well, I'm not going to rush into any decisions, but I don't expect to be making any more road trips outside of the state of Tennessee. What I wish could happen was that I could find another believer that would be interested in buying the van as a camper van and carry on the tradition of, you know, spreading light and spreading the gospel, spreading encouragement, wherever this new owner would be led by the Lord to go. But other than that, you know, I could just decommission it, you know, remove all the stuff out of the van and just use it as a mode of transportation. It's really more vehicle than I really need. You know, if everything worked out the way I would plan it, I would be able to sell the van and buy something smaller and more economical that would suit my needs at this stage of my life now. I'm 69 years old, and so, you know, I'm really my reflexes are getting too slow to be able to continue making these trips down the interstate highways. You know, I'm just not physically or financially able to do it anymore. So, you know, if I could sell the van and make enough off of it that I could buy the car that I really need, I would gladly do that. But, you know, the way things are these days, if you sell your house, you're not going to be able to buy a new house because prices have just gone up. And car prices especially have really gone up. So I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm sure the Lord will provide the opportunity that I need when I need it. So I'm kind of in a holding pattern right now, just listening and watching for God to lead me to the opportunity of transportation that I need, or maybe He wants me to just keep the van and hopefully that'll last me the rest of my life. I don't know. But I'm totally dependent on God for everything, not just that. So if you watched all, I believe this is going to be episode 14. If you've watched all the episodes, you have seen that things have not gone the way I planned them. If you haven't watched all the preceding episodes, they're not real exciting, they're not real entertaining, but what they will do is show you that it's not all rainbows and unicorns on the road, and things don't always work out the way you planned them. So with this being the final episode, I'll just say, God bless you, each and every one, for watching, and vaya con Dios.